The Economy on True Talk Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this Sunday as we discuss government's accountability in public appointments, featuring Valnora Edwin of Africa Women Leaders Network, Fode Kamara, National Secretary General, Alliance Democratic Party, and Imran Silla from the Ministry of Communication. Don't forget to join us this Sunday on True Talk Radio 98.5 FM at 7 p.m. and on All Out Radio 92.5, Amza Radio on 96.9 and Top Radio on 103.7. This is The Economy on 98.5. The Economy on True Talk Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this Sunday as we discuss government's accountability in public appointments, featuring Valnora Edwin of Africa Women Leaders Network, Fode Kamara, National Secretary General, Alliance Democratic Party, and Imran Silla from the Ministry of Communication. Don't forget to join us this Sunday on True Talk Radio 98.5 FM at 7 p.m. and on All Out Radio 92.5, Amza Radio on 96.9 and Top Radio on 103.7. This is The Economy on 98.5. The Economy on True Talk Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this Sunday as we discuss government's accountability in public appointments, featuring Valnora Edwin of Africa Women Leaders Network, Fode Kamara, National Secretary General, Alliance Democratic Party, and Imran Silla from the Ministry of Communication. Don't forget to join us this Sunday on True Talk Radio 98.5 FM at 7 p.m. and on All Out Radio 92.5, Amza Radio on 96.9 and Top Radio on 103.7. This is The Economy on 98.5. The Economy on True Talk Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this Sunday as we discuss government's accountability in public appointments, featuring Valnora Edwin of Africa Women Leaders Network, Fode Kamara, National Secretary General, Alliance Democratic Party, and Imran Silla from the Ministry of Communication. Don't forget to join us this Sunday on True Talk Radio 98.5 FM at 7 p.m. and on All Out Radio 92.5, Amza Radio on 96.9 and Top Radio on 103.7. This is The Economy on 98.5. The Economy on True Talk Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this Sunday as we discuss government's accountability in public appointments, featuring Valnora Edwin of Africa Women Leaders Network, Fode Kamara, National Secretary General, Alliance Democratic Party, and Imran Silla from the Ministry of Communication. Don't forget to join us this Sunday on True Talk Radio 98.5 FM at 7 p.m. and on All Out Radio 92.5, Amza Radio on 96.9 and Top Radio on 103.7. This is The Economy on 98.5. The Economy on True Talk Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this
various ministry departments and agencies them waiting at their mandates and sorry where we they appoint them inside them ministries departments and agencies them, yeah, so waiting at the mandates where governments they give them and how governments they actually appoint them. Now then we want and where governments will appoint them, how will they able to make sure so we hold them accountable. So for discuss stand they fumble them today we get guests them with a join we and with me in the studio currently now the National Secretary General of the Alliance Democratic Party winner Mr. Fode Kamara. Mr. Fode Kamara, tell people them adu.
From Leona, good evening. Mina Fode Kamara, the National Secretary General Alliance Democratic Party.
Okay, thank you very much. So before we delve into the topic proper, I want to hear it. Now I think this way we actually been go ask people them, but we want to hear waiting people and think about the topic, whether or not them feel say bim like we for able for the old government accountable or we for they get voice in fact within their appoint people them for leading certain positions them, and whether this not something where we all can glad with. So let we hear you waiting people them mean say.
Salon like other African countries can elect the president inside general election. But after the election, the constitution give the president the mandate for choose ministers, head of parastatals, ambassadors, and other public officials them for serve na different ministries, embassies, departments, and agencies them. But plenty them when the president can make their appointments here, some people can grumble say, some part their appointees them not fit for the position where they appoint them to.
Families today then at the streets of Freetown for ask citizens them if president for appoint public officials based on political connection or would that qualify for do the work.
The one where they for choose and the one where they will do also by Sabi. Because as Sabi or you know me like this, you come here you try to send self amount. So I for choose then at the any come the bad name, you know for this way, for choose like this.
That is not possible. Everything where the government for this. We want give anybody position. Or give the only right person. You never go give us what we say, you know, to write something. I write somebody next to
so minister some classes, the government give to become more political affairs. And I want then two the people always keep right down. Most of the appointments for the past government, even this one also, this government presently, with the issue, you know, we don't keep last year, people always can grumble. I can say that you choose the minister in terms of political affairs and within themselves. So,
Even though people don't dey call for a government of inclusion and not the winner takes all, it's still difficult for see that for happiness alone. We make some people feel say the government for give more information or reason we make it for appoint certain people there.
100% is for me because the government will get a position, will get a job for me. So anyone do anything, only people will support for me. If we don't know, so it's not for me, not to get a job.
Well, I would say now it's discretional something because everybody wants somebody who could be loyal to him. But I believe say there are people where you might not know, other people know more or know better. So I believe say sometimes if such hearing comes to the attention of the public can look at and say, okay, this person is competent. Maybe the person will say, maybe you don't get double masters, but at least he will perform, he deliver very well. So make you look at and say, if government, sometimes some certain specific office the way that they appoint people into, for even bring them to the attention of certain universities or certain institutions because somebody they do a particular course, you know, if you write a book on it, they go get a whole office where you get for money thousands or millions of people. What in that person they will do? Now look, Africa already get a lot of crises about water, about light, about food, about transport. Then this person, and they manage 50 people, 100 people, you go get office. How will we perform? It go be challenging for am.
Yeah, because when you look at a perspective about government, they say government is by the people and from the people and for the people. So whatever appointment you need for make as a sitting president or a sitting executive arm of government, you need for make am known to the public because that is the reason you no dey govern yourself, you dey govern the people. So any appointment wey you make, you need for make am public to the people. But that area dey, yes, dem can try because when you look at the secretary to the president, any appointment wey make e dey count and notice to the public wey dey pull a press release, and whenever they wan fall back for relief, certain ministers or certain commissioners dem can come back and publicly dey make am back.
But when the president dey sack ministers and other people wey e appoint, you feel say e for tell citizens dem why e sack?
Yeah, that's it, by right, yes. By right, the citizen for what's not the reason or what's not the cause we make this for happen. Because like, you know, go just grab one morning or we grab or one way you call them, where manner, and recently, this is not the happen. We can see changes where we see like one science person, but we don't see any difference. Also, we see a difference between this minister with family and this minister with go out. We don't see any difference. So we don't know what's not the cause, why that happen.
So on me own side, I look at am say, if government dey dismiss somebody, yeah, for tell the reason. So at least people where e dey go after the person, I no go tell like na witch hunt. Because if they don't tell me publicly say this man a thief 6 billion loans, e go run away with am. If they can't go police station like na me brother say, me sef go take me time say no, I need for be patriotic to the country.
To me, I think say they're supposed to do am. They're supposed to have, but like as I said before, I say when you look at government, you say government is for the people and by the people and for the people. Because you know they rule yourself. It can be executive and na people they elect now. People na dem trust una, na in dem place una, follow una ask on their capacities dem dey. If people dem put una their position of trust dey, so una need for notice the people for let them know who dey na this particular sector so that the people dey get informed and then you know then they are aware, they know say this person here. So anytime if this particular person here wey dem put in this capacity here as let's say example minister of internal affairs, you no able execute im duty. So the citizens they clearly know say this person here e no be able to perform the time wey e be so position. So in time of whenever sometimes he wan forget snap back for a political elected position, then they violate am, then they access am, the people then they access am based on the work the way they don do.
With all this, e clear say this go be a long debate, not only in a saloon, but Africa, who start from independence to now, the idea of winner takes all na in don dey happen. For change am in a short while go seems possibly impossible. For True Talk Radio, Elfrida Sam dey report.
The Economy on True Talk Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this Sunday as we discuss government's accountability in public appointments, featuring Valnora Edwin of Africa Women Leaders Network, Fode Kamara, National Secretary General, Alliance Democratic Party, and Imran Sila from the Ministry of Communication. Don't forget to join us this Sunday on True Talk Radio 98.5 FM at 7 p.m. and on All Out Radio 92.5, Amza Radio on 96.9 and Top Radio on 103.7. This is the Economy on 98.5.
Alright, family, welcome back. say accountability important based on all waiting you don't hear and you experience what you don't get inside government basically. Why do you see accountability important?
Well, family, good evening once more. Just from your question, I think the word accountability, now a very, of course, a big word, but when it comes to governance or probably appointing or working in the capacity of working on behalf of the general public, the word accountability simply means, you know, a process when somebody for be accountable in whatever role or responsibility within GIAM for execute. So in making yourself
Economy on True Talk
accountable.
Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this Sunday as we discuss government's accountability in public appointments, featuring Valnora Edwin of Africa Women Leaders Network, Fode Kamara, National Secretary General, Alliance Democratic Party, and Imran Sila from the Ministry of Communication. Don't forget to join us this Sunday on True Talk Radio 98.5 FM at 7 p.m. and on All Out Radio 92.5, Amza Radio on 96.9, and Top Radio on 103.7. This is The Economy on 98.5. The Economy on True Talk Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this Sunday as we discuss government's accountability in public appointments, featuring Valnora Edwin of Africa Women Leaders Network, Fode Kamara, National Secretary General, Alliance Democratic Party, and Imran Sila from the Ministry of Communication. Don't forget to join us this Sunday on True Talk Radio 98.5 FM at 7 p.m. and on All Out Radio 92.5, Amza Radio on 96.9, and Top Radio on 103.7. This is The Economy on 98.5. The Economy on True
Welcome back. So, Mr. Fode, you've been they say from your experience inside government, what make you feel say accountability important?
In as much as my experience so far into governance system, the word accountability na a process when somebody for be accountable for, like, for example, if they don't give a function, a sideways for work as probably a government functionary or any other person we they appointed to public offices. So like that particular work we they do, at the end of the day, you have to be accountable to the general public, because at the end of the day, not to by yourself in the work. In the work for the interest of the country. And at any time they demand, a report from you if you be accountable, so that they know say you work towards nation building. So now a very big word, but like in a simple form for let people understand say this office where they not just appoint me, so I'm accountable, and I be for report to the public whenever uh, questions then come of waiting and demand from me as somebody way they head this particular office.
Okay, from then you don't interesting. That's a good point. You don't actually bring in the idea of the appointment process. You see, so we then select people them for be accountable. You feel say in the appointment process itself, when they choose public officials, then you feel say them can do them through a transparent process. Also, then they choose based on merit rather than just the political patronage.
Well, I think in the Sierra Leonean context, for example, we get the broad term government. And the term governments are body of persons we empowered by the constitution for take the day-to-day affairs of any country. And Sierra Leone, to be specific, we all know see the head of the executive, now the president. And the president, by the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone, get the power for hire and fire whosoever he appoints into public offices. We get institutions where, for example, one of the things areas that we lacking, I think appointment based as well. Me to me, I don't sound like it come off from the general point of view, or for example, we just look at certain citizens, as Salon say, devoid of your political affiliation or belonging, if will be kind of appointed into a position where probably you get the qualification and the pass through processes. Like for example, when the president hire, somebody and they pass through parliament for vetting and approval. And to me, at the CC, we forget committees we established by law. We for look into like we get the Public Service Commission, then we get the Civil Service Commission as well. In appointing those, the government, like the president, for kind of consulting people and they hiring people, asking them for their qualification, their documents, whether for tender and then commissions there, and then for they go through them and for like sending it to Parliament for vetting and approval. When them go don't do their own vetting, look at them, say yes, they meet to the requirements.
So from your experience inside government, basically, this now which you feel safe for they happen, but how then they appoint people then?
Me to me, I look at them from the party lens. If you are not a party member of any party, trust me, you don't will be appointed into public offices.
So now based on political patronage, how you they support the party,
exactly,
and not to whether or not this person technically capable for doing.
No, not at all, because I'm a politician too, and we don't go through that kind of thing. And me being a secretary general for a political party where people can see smaller parties, we are not small in stature, in functions, because when it comes to the role way APC, SLPP they do them as well. And when it comes to, making payments for certain things, we all do them equal. So on that note, when it comes to nation building, we all do them as well. But like to me, I say appointing individuals into public offices get for pass through stages. Probably like I don't mention the Public Service Commission, where by law they look into recruitment of individuals, look at them, qualifications, and certify them. Probably draw an exams if need be or not. They get the Civil Service Commission as well for those who don't perform into the civil service for probably gain some appointment like ministerial appointment, directorial appointment, and so on and so forth.
That's interesting. So to Una, I mean, you've been just don't talk inside your own contribution, say you feel say now based on how people then they perform based on the political support within the give party them now so then they appoint people them and not to whether or not then qualified. Now the same na una party or in fact inside this system who's all una they play as ADP. Una self una they support this system or una can they voice out una can they voice out opinions them against this kind of structure.
Well, like I say, we as a party, we get sense of responsibility. And so sometimes we can frown at some of the appointments, the nature at which then appointments can come. You for consider the fact say Sierra Leone big pass anybody, and Sierra Leone big pass we all. The president, a sitting president, is fountain of honor and fountain of justice. So probably the Constitution of Sierra Leone and the mandate for hire and fire, but that notwithstanding the right way the Constitution we get other political parties then we then serve as stakeholders in our society when they say they contribute greatly to the development of the country. I think in doing public appointment, they serve for be consulted, because sometimes if you be Minister of Information, not so you get some, not so SLPP gets another APC or ADP, like a public office, and that office the public for be aware and then for the pass through stages. We the smaller parties that we normally can consider smaller parties, we are not consulted sometimes when the appointments can come.
Inside una party, una get a merit-based appointing process, or una back na that idea like how this IGR report talk am no more. Now we turn for it. Now we turn for chop. So una just dey give, or una get different process.
No,
If una get different process, tell family them not to wait you think say government for they do waiting on una own process inside una party.
well, as of now, we dey run as a party. We get criteria, the way requirements when somebody for me to. And not me say you na ADP member when we come into governance, you for just appoint you like that. No. Probably when you look at your qualification, then you go through the process where I feel say for go. If need be, public vetting for coming. So to we even me as the Secretary General, they not just appoint me or either elect me as Secretary General. I go through a process looking at my qualification, because you can't be a Secretary General without you not get, probably you are not educated. So that's the one requirement where the party they look at. So whatever role they give, they not just get, we look at qualifications as requirement based. So to we, I feel say by the special grace of God, we come into governance. We don't go say because now we time this, we go just appoint just like that. Because then public offices here, are sensitive offices, we need attention and deliver well so that the country and the people will flourish in a way that themselves will say yes, we belong to a country we call Sierra Leone.
Okay, if you've been read the GTT report, it's actually interesting and say the GTT report talks say where some officials them hold power. Well, government in, government out. The officials them where they inside them government them you see one pan them go come take some buildings them we belong to government and privatize them, or in fact some then they where they go rent low cost places them and then begin put high money for them. They say now they not the office space. Even with the wage bill now they see how then they increase the payments or the salaries for some ministers or government appointees them. You feel say that lack of accountability and transparency inside the selection process get linked to how them people here they can perform in a way where no sits down well with the public. You feel say link between the two?
One thing in setting a political party or a government, it work in the interest of the people. And government per se not mean say the minister and the president are the make up government. Now we all, the citizens, they make up government. And to me, I say, trust me, the politicians, not mean well when it comes to, developing the country as per se. You not go on earth, take a building, probably privatize them to you or kind of use them to your own use, which is wrong. And one of the things that say for me they look at, in the process of hiring and going through parliament for vetting and approval, to me, just after a year or two, you say the president don't fire this person. One of the things that we will recommend when a president they appoint somebody, when time for come for fire, you get stages. You get the parliament, anti-corruption commission there. Then for know the reason why them for fire that person, the anti-corruption for coming. Then go back to parliament. Parliament need for good look at the reason why this person have for meet to this, firing stage, rather than just hiring and firing without questioning, without bringing them to justice as to why they were sacked or not. So to me, the government they're lacking, and now one of the things that I need to me as ADP, if you come into governance, trust me, whenever you are appointed, if you don't commit something, the public for aware. And the stage where you go through for vetting and approval, and the same thing for go through for you removal.
All right, family, if you still listen to we they talk to the Secretary General for Alliance Democratic Party we now for the camera, and at exactly 7:50 we get for open the phone line family them for the una call and una make una contribution. The number for call na 076-641-729 076-641-729. Sorry, 072-641-729 072-641-729. You can call and contribute on what you think. And at exactly 7:50 now we open the phone line. So yes, Mr. Fode, you've been they say, and the aspect of whether or not accountability for the inside the hiring and even of the firing of individuals them well understood. Say enough for be direct no more. Sometimes and if the president yes na prerogative of mercy, but we need for know wetin are the reasons behind and the wetin me they try for ask and understand is you feel say way the president they use that in prerogative of mercy. Sometimes them they na person way just don't contribute hugely to the party na in the give position without considering whether or not this person qualified for this position. And then we can see government in, government out. We can't see man them where they occupy office them. They not perform nothing better. That's also corruption and they happen. You feel say that lack of transparency in the hiring process linked to that outcome there of that corruption. You feel say now because we not actually the veteran people they make corruption they happen, say they not sabi do their job.
Well, I think that one of the reasons that they say also you put your money in the mouth for the not so. Then I believe say one of the things that we the money away, some of them we leaders will be probably get as flag bearers go into a position like that nature. They always be financed by outsiders. We at the end of the day, if now president wins, the first point of satisfying those people now for give them appointments whether you are qualified or not, and that is wrong. Devoid of your financial contribution to the party, if you are not capable, there are other functions then you will serve in that capacity. Because at the end of the day, if you work fine, that it pays for you and the country. If you don't work fine, then the country again they shrink into poverty. So to me, I say and say, then they do that only for satisfy a particular individual, whether that person meets the requirements now, don't meet them all. But I look at the committees or the agencies really responsible for approval and vetting of them thing, because the president can just appoint, say I don't appoint Mr. Fude Kamara as for example as the youth minister. They I don't know, they don't know whether if this Fude Kamara meet the requirements or not. When else the president will approve for them to know kind of and look at an appointment that kind of way. Parliament always respect within the president don't they do. And other countries then they when you appoint, trust me, if you don't meet to the requirement, the parliament or whatever committee responsible for vetting and approval, then will come and write to the president say this person don't meet to the requirement. But in the case of Sierra Leone, not only than the when else you are appointed and probably the secretary to the president give press release as a public information. By the time remember that person don't go through parliament, vetting out the person. By the time remember the next day they don't approve. Whether he or she is qualified, that is not of their business.
Okay. So interesting how you actually they hammer the points to the head. I mean, it clearly seems that you they against this whole idea of now we turn for chop. You understand? If you this IGR them will release a report where now the incentivizing state performance or underperformance inside government, and then say most political party then they see the states like this extractive machinery where we get power all man for come eat inside there, and it's all like say you actually dey against them because you they criticize that system they verily from the points them where you don't make. If una old power, assuming say una old power inside 2028, you get like selective steps them wanna go take for dismantle this system. Waiting at the steps them wanna actually plan for you so that not to man them no more will be non they give money to ADP who can get power. Now a merit based system wanna actually get a structured step.
Well, in the very first thing we try for Ali and that we get what them called trust, public trust, confidence. By the special grace of God, we come like I say, we come into governance. We own system will be different from any other government in, government out. Because sometimes, like I say, if na me the Secretary General not qualify, not me say because of my return, therefore give me a position where a public position, because mind you, ministries, departments and agencies not belong to the sitting president, even though he is the president and we find say in a ministry, in a department or agency, he appoints whosoever he feels like appointing to them particular agencies, and they know. We probably, if the need be, before we appoint him to that, if we get a cause for apply for that particular position, the Public Service Commission, the recruit and probably look at merit base or your qualification, then before going to the civil service for finally, put you into that position there. So if you not meet to that requirement there are other areas and they will, they are public offices, but they are not public attention offices. So we'll put you based on your qualification. You can't be minister of information, probably know within how to communicate information to the public.
Yes, that's a very good point. But technically, I go on only. I mean, then they all man they think na the philosophy. But realistically, inside una party, like we assume say the 5 biggest man the way they put money inside ADP. Now them actually want forget Ministry of Labour, Ministry of Information, Ministry of Education, and then them man them they then say we want for come hold them officer, but they're not technically qualified as much as sometimes other small man the way they inside the party, but now they put heavy money there. If them man then say if we not give them the position and then say they stop for put money inside on a party, you feel say the party go stand there, like you go get that take that risk they for lose them power supporting people them. Yeah, that will be very realistic. What's in a review on Nandi?
Realistically, trust me, like I say, I think Sierra Leone has never gotten a president who is not able to communicate. I'm not sure. Then, all about coming to power now promises. You they call people them around based on their financial status, not educational qualification. Trust me, if you genuine enough, because at the end of the day, accountability not only means say to you people, then you have to be accountable to God. Because whatever you do now this world, next world, according to the books, then say you get to be accountable. And the accountability starts right from here. So if you're not accountable to your people, say because of you want come into power, then whosoever can probably like a businessman, not just assume like a wealthy business person. Say I want for pour me money, but at the end of the day, we will not succeed, we will not for Tommy Minister of Information. Probably that would be happen if you not get binding agreement on that.
I mean,
but if I don't get binding agreement, you go tell them simply ask them for in qualification first and say, okay, well, now this are the criteria. But if you love the party, you go pour your money. Probably there are other areas where you go fit in. Not necessarily you for be Minister of Information, neither like Minister of Finance. If you not sabi anything about economics or either mathematics stuff. So how you be able to know, calculate the amounts where the country they generate. So it's like we do them based on merit base.
Yeah, but if them people them go now, how wanna they get support as a party? Assuming hypothetically.
Well, I know if we say probably we will just go to the point, say because you don't qualify. Trust me, we will tell you if you kind of get the patriotic spirit in you, you go support. So I know if we say because of your money, or they avoid qualification, and that are institutions we established by law, where they look into qualification as a merit base for assume a position or a function. So to me, I say the country can force. The interest of the country can force rather than individual interest.
If you've been in the position for advice President Bayo right now on introducing accountability, which you go tell them for do? Assuming say let we just assume this current system who they see, so we say whether they appoint certain people them to office, people them the way they say, but how that man get position? But waiting that man they do. You understand? If you they in a position now for advice the power, what you go tell them?
Well, if I they in the position of advising the president on that, one of the I think thing the world will tell another that you get established institutions the way they check in the operations of them, ministries, departments and agencies. Say one thing where we lack the monitoring power. When somebody is appointed, that's what the monitor, we lack monitoring power. So I advise the president lay at least within them institutions and they, like for example the Anti-Corruption Commission, and that of Parliament, then get a committee on that for like establish a committee where purely the function of ensure say then the monitor like we get the audit service commission where then they audit the operations of the institutions they are. So one thing we for lay premium on, or we the president for lay more emphasis on than that monitoring. Now that's salon lack. When ends you are appointed, they are ends it. By the time you remember you are fired without no proof, without telling the public, say these are the reason we lead to the person removal.
Okay, so family me for the listen, we will still talk to Mr. Fode Kamara, when the National Secretary General of Alliance Democratic Party. We will take a short break. When we come back, we will continue. Family, the phone line they open at 7:50, and the number for call na 072-641-729. 072-641-729. Let we take a short break, family.
Talk Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this Sunday as we discuss government's accountability in public appointments, featuring Valnora Edwin of Africa Women Leaders Network, Fode Kamara, National Secretary General, Alliance Democratic Party, and Imran Sila from the Ministry of Communication. Don't forget to join us this Sunday on True Talk Radio 98.5 FM at 7 p.m. and on All Out Radio 92.5, Amza Radio on 96.9 and Top Radio on 103.7. This is The Economy on 98.5. The Economy on True Talk Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this Sunday as we discuss government's accountability in public appointments, featuring Valnora Edwin of Africa Women Leaders Network, Fode Kamara, National Secretary General, Alliance Democratic Party, and Imran Sila from the Ministry of Communication. Don't forget to join us this Sunday on True Talk Radio 98.5 FM at 7 p.m. and on All Out Radio 92.5, Amza Radio on 96.9 and Top Radio on 103.7. This is The Economy on 98.5. The Economy on True Talk Radio, a weekly debate on the political economy of Sierra Leone. This is where the minds of the economy meet every Sunday at 7 p.m. So, join us this Sunday as we discuss government's accountability in public appointments, featuring Valnora Edwin of Africa Women Leaders Network, Fode Kamara, National Secretary General, Alliance Democratic Party, and Imran Sila from the Ministry of Communication. Don't forget to join us this Sunday on True Talk Radio 98.5 FM at 7 p.m. and on All Out Radio 92.5, Amza Radio on 96.9 and Top Radio on 103.7. This is The Economy on 98.5.
All right, family, welcome back. So, Madam Valnora, the president for African Women Leaders Network, don't join me at the studio and instead of one input, Madam Valnora, tell family Madu.
Family, on a good evening.
Okay, so we've been discuss on the importance of accountability inside public appointments. Then quickly, why make you feel say accountability very important inside public appointments?
I think say anybody we they appoint, I guess say you refer to the appointments that will be made by president where they appoint various people. And I think there's a background there because the constitution give any president the powers for there he appoint people as well as create institutions the way in view if he say go help them to carry on a role for govern the country. And these people are also entrusted with the responsibility for let them do the work, for let the country move forward. And when you are appointed, the institution, most of them are legislated. And when they are legislated, they have a mandate. It has its function, and then they prescribe, especially for the key management level, and they prescribe exactly what's on our role and on our function. So they'll have a board, they will get managing director, executive director, or as the case may be. But there's a head of that institution, and you have a role to play. And like I said, most of these institutions are established for enable the executive, where they form the executive arm of government, for able to run the country. So your responsibility lie to the public, because you are a public servant, and that's why they call you a public servant. Additionally, all you function, all you operations, including the salaries the way you they earn, is being paid for by the people of Sierra Leone through the taxes. So sometimes we can see the discussion about when you are appointed, he who plays the piper, plays the tune or whatever, the riddle go. I think it is off context because you are not loyal. Your loyalty is not to a president who appoint you. You are not loyal to a political party who form the executive. You are not loyal to a group of people where maybe now they recommend you, where they appoint you. Your loyalty, your responsibility, your task is fully for the people of Sierra Leone. You are being paid by their tax. So you have a responsibility for deliver. So definitely, Naimek if na Guma, if it's EDSA, if it's Maritime, if it's the shipping agency, all the SLRSA, all them bodies then they where the head na political appointee, we the people get a responsibility for hold them to account. They have to be held accountable. They need for tell we how then they spend with resources.
Okay, so whose practical steps then you feel say civil society networks them or even non-state actors then go able for take for monitor appointments them and on an ongoing basis not to pass or election come no more and how you feel say then they go work?
I think say on one hand waiting CSOs then do over time. We always they call organizations or individuals into account. And the media becomes the platform through which they invite them, and most times you can get this joint or mixed panel where you go get a CSO where expertise in a particular field, and then you get the public servants where they can give account of what they do and the issues that when are concerned or where they do well. The CSO can bring them and make you generate a very healthy conversation. So that it's not just I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that, but you also query and interrogate deeper some aspect the way they could be strengthened or some aspect the way they know they do very well. On the other hand, I think now the way where the appointments themselves don't be done, now also we get for look at. So like I said the president gets or a president gets the authority by the constitution for appoint people. I not think say it's a bad thing because I saw the constitution put them. But what becomes problematic and we don't see over the years is this aspect of you are taking people from your particular political party, and not only that, you are taking people where sometimes not even qualify for the job, they not get the experience. You they take junior person within an institution, you promote them above somebody way senior to them, the one way supposed to get the position. Sometimes you go get that position there, and everything become a payback or reward for people there or family members of people there way show allegiance to political party in some cases, in some instances. And then unfortunately you they get some people when they have these appointments, again in itself it is not bad. If you appoint me now, say go ahead this institution, like I say, there is an act that gives you a mandate that spells out waiting at your role and waiting at your function. Your responsibility now for meet that function there. But waiting you they find out you they get people the way they get them position and then they do their job. Then they either fit then board or among themselves then they make say we all get political appointments. And that is wrong. Because in every institution, even in this studio where I get, there's somebody who is in charge. There's somebody who is the producer, presenter, even of this program, where there's a hierarchy that you have to respect, that you have to support. Even if they do something we're not right, there is a way where they engage them respectfully and constructively because it's senior to you. But they find out that in most of these institutions, because of this political appointment, then they make, oh, me na this person and I make a day, oh, na this person, or oh, me self get letter from status, oh, I get letter from status. So the main job while you are there, then they pay you a month done using taxpayers' money. You know they do them, but what's they do now? They fed to themselves on either get your own fumble or your own connection to the party or to state house stronger than the other.
Okay.
And so it affects service delivery in the end. So me and you and are just the ordinary person. We sit down, they wait for we water for camp. We want we light. We want good medical service. We want proper transportation. Those basic things we want we license, we passport, we go take we birth certificate for we picking them. We get teachers there, then pay them on time, nurses then pay on time. Because of that, there's so much inefficiency in the public service.
Okay. So Fambolem, if una still there with we dey open the phone line now, and where we dey open the phone line, you can call and then provide your perspective as we they go forward. The number na 072-641-729, 072-641-729. So Mr. Fodela, we come back to you on this question here. You don't hear wait again for talk about transparency and the effects them what they get. Realistically, like waiting and they do inside this place here, Ghana, so inside public hearings them they do, and people and they come and provide them views them. It's sort of like a town hall. Realistically, we don't begin do na Sierra Leone, but we not get like it not legally mandated now because of the idea of the current Minister of Information. It make we they get them one them. You feel say if we they get public hearings, then we get legal mandates for carry them out. You feel say we they able for force transparency through than they from a political angle.
Yeah, I think that now one aspect. Like I say, you know, making public appointments by the president, just like waiting Madam Edwin don't say, the president has the power to hire and fire, right? So, like, doing such appointments, like I say, they go through stages. One, this weekly press briefing where Minister of Information and Communication only introduce, where people can go at least get some national issues where they go at the end of the day, they say go contribute into it. So if the issues have become legal, I should say in the appointment of anybody, trust me, we get a time here in the day before somebody is sent to Parliament for vetting and approval. Therefore, pass through them side and they probably the public weigh them, looking at their qualifications, ask them some questions. I know say by the time they go to Parliament, they don't pass through public, scrutiny. Then at the end of the day, if anybody pass through Parliament now, say the task and responsibility they can carry, not to probably in political allegiance or either in yourself or in a public interest, because it's a public office. At the end of the day, we get to be accountable to the public.
Okay, so I feel like Mr. Fode, they come mostly from the political angle, Madam Valnora. In they talk about how we are able to utilize the idea of let we go by the books so that we are able to enforce accountability. If the presidents they appoint, let it go through structures them. But in your own view, you feel saying that the only steps then and they will be able for achieve accountability. Whose additional measures you go recommend from outside the political angle now where they come off from, where we they able to use for make sure say public officials them accountable after they appoint them?
Well, I think like I mentioned, when they can kind of the media, and there's a panel where then they get a constructive debate. Now one form of accountability, because you go ask. So let's take the unfortunate incident where be within two picking them, their souls.
Rest in peace.
That is so sad. So it could be something like you look at the Minister of Education, for example. Now one person where you go can ask like, these schools, are they vetted? And then teacher then they, because how did those kids get missing? Where they not then self not go, so don't go look for them. How do you have abandoned vehicles within a kindergarten setting or a primary school setting? Who that vets that school there? So that's one way you can bring in like the Minister of Education. Not that it's his fault that happened, but it's a lesson going forward. How do you make sure that school environment safe for what they go left with picking them? We at Kandong say they are in places that don't meet certain criteria. So using the media, getting a panel is one way. Like you mentioned, waiting the Ministry of Education they do is a good thing. And also the same way there was the open government partnership, where in the previous government with them they go around, not even only in Freetown, they were going all around the country, having town hall meeting. It's another way that you hold them accountable. Another way, we MPs then get a responsibility. They only have 3 functions, where unfortunately people they refuse for accept and then go give them their school fee, the school fee problem, the rent problem, the married where they want married, the begging where they get the roof and all of that. That's not their responsibility. They get lawmaking, they get oversight, they get representation. And so it's also good, and that the responsibility, which is part of their oversight, for the members of parliament, then the committees, then call. Like some of them transport the way they see the condition where they see them van and the students for they will call the minister of transport and the company where the something transport authority for say, you know, there should be a standard of the sort of vehicles there where we as Sierra Leoneans for sidom as public transport. Why would they see them kind of vehicle there when are so iron, then some nego light, some then the road and they change gear, the noise. There has to be a standard. So MPs are supposed, they have all the committees there. It's another way that you can hold them accountable. And that's the legal way that you actually hold them accountable. Because parliament gets a legal mandate for as the institution there, for let them be accountable to the people because they are supposed to be our representatives to speak on our behalf. Media also is another platform. The waiting Ministry of Education they do is another platform where they make, and even MPs can even take some other public official and go na their constituency. Let them go share waiting and they do.
Alright, where we hold it, we don't get with first caller. Hello, caller, your name and where you they call from?
Hello, True Talk. My name is Mohamed Sisi. I call from Wilkinson Road.
Okay, waiting are your contribution?
I want to ask a question regarding us. If government decides to use the right channel, like the right process for make appointment, how do they get for change daily life as a citizen in the country? And that's my question.
Alright, thank you very much, caller. And then I go on to the politician who get here, Mr. Fode. Inside government, what do you think on Nandi? How the caller they ask if government use the right channels them for actually make appointments, like waiting you been they discuss how the structures for go, how then they go change the lives of the ordinary Salomon?
That's one how such appointment would change the lives of Sierra Leoneans. One, like I say, everybody will did appoint into public office while if we meet the required standard, we probably qualification on one. Yes, even though the Constitution of Sierra Leone, you know, there is a section where say hence you read, you will read, I mean you read and write. I think that one side of the qualification for let somebody like go into parliament or either take any public office. Like I say,
I mean, how will they affect Salomon in life? How then they go improve Salomon in life?
one, if you put the right man at the right place, I believe say it will improve the lives of Sierra Leonean. But if you put the wrong man at the right place, I believe say that person not going to deliver. And at the end of the day, if you are appointed or into any position where you need public accountability, you know, able to deliver, trust me, the public will go through that sufferness day. At the end of the day, no development, so we'll just break down as citizens we know the kind of sense or experience any betterment for we growth.
In come to you, Madam Valnora. In them public appointments, them yeah, I mean, you they head the African Women Leaders Network. What are some of the unique challenges them where you feel say marginalized group then like women and youth can face in them appointment processes them yeah? I mean already we understand say the 30% quota don't come, but you feel say effective for women them?
Well, I think in terms of the 30%, we focus on numbers. And I think at the ministerial level and the parliamentary level, when are elective, we'll focus on the appointment.
Sorry, let we hold on. We get to next caller. Hello, caller. Your name and who you they call from?
Mina, John, I call from Lumley.
Okay, John.
Yes, we don't see over time political parties, leaders, way they come or way they campaign and tell the strategies and wait and do for come develop or can change the life of the people. But when it comes to appointments, only people where they with them or we're on side with them or the regional base or whatever. But the civil society and representative now, I just want to ask how and which side then don't they make for make this narrative change. We see presidents and they appoint professional people there.
Okay, thank you very much, Kola. I think Madam Valnora will continue on to go light on Nandi as a done this in first one will be in the chop.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, so I think I already mentioned about the issue around the accountability. And
the women's quota, you say.
So I think one of the main things they will look at beyond even the numbers of women, and it's applied for both male and female. One of the issues we I mentioned earlier is what some of their appointments there you really need for question whether they meet the requirements, and unfortunately when they do appointments then they know they come into play. Even though parliament supposed for do that scrutiny day, so that when they appoint somebody, you need to look at because a leadership position in leadership, whether I don't get that experience they, whether it qualify for that position they, maybe get it, whether I get the technical educational background or experience for head their institution they or for be a part. Unfortunately, then they know they always be very clear. And even when sometimes or most times you will see the opposition go raise objection around certain appointments, then we know they see any move for change them. So whilst we they comment say for the ministerial position they would they see a lot more women, even though you get a lot more deputy ministers women are women than exactly
Ministers.
than ministers. But I think say it's a good start, and I think because this campaign done there for very long, with the hope say progressively it not go be even an affirmative action, but it go be something where they can naturally for saying a man and woman then in a salon like everywhere else in the world, and man and woman equally qualified and competent for play any role. So every president will go come go realize that no so thing way it go for be a big trumpet over, but just the realization that there's another half of the population we equally qualified, we get the capacity, and is supposed for day.
Okay.
I think say the second point somebody they asked was how CSO then they ensure say
we change that narrative around Dandy.
well, that's an ongoing campaign, and for several years we don't see successive governments and they do that where it appear that not all but most of the appointments and where they make they be from region, from people where you go here you say that one then they me help for campaign, that one then they me mobilize people, that one and then they me pull money. So with politics not necessarily get for be a reward system where you put money, where you help, where you mobilize, then when you win they for give you job. In advanced countries, even though they themselves get their own challenge, but the people that they can call the kingmakers, they are not visible. You don't even know who they are. You know they see them, they know they go for appointments. Then self wants compensation because all man they can say there's no free lunch. All man wants something in return. But in advanced democracies, those are people with money. With already they get money and they get influence. So even the person where they mobilize, you know, get money, but sometimes you get crowd. You get like the young people, sometimes a person where young people and they gravitate towards. So you go bring them on board that party day. They usually are people on their own. They don't want to go into mainstream politics. Now make you see person like Elon Musk, he support Trump. Now where they go inside the politics, you see what I they confuse. In business they suffer. Because those people, the kingmakers, they don't usually show up in the mainstream. But yeah, the person where they can say, Valnora, you know what, you know more the money or the people they put you, no worry. Now first, if they tell me, in fact, where you win, me na minister of this I want, me na this position I want. Let me 5 niece and nephew way from where they done college, they no get job. Now they go put over yonder. So that sort of trade-off there now we get most times, and it doesn't work for us because then you have a lot of square pegs in round holes. Then you get a lot of people who not understand, like I start for say that your loyalty is to the people of Sierra Leone, and also even when that person they give you job, we all they give people a job, we serve the one job to person say but recommend me and that. But they not do one for let you go do bad day, then do one for let you work, for let the country move forward. But we not they see that they happen.
You get a different view from what they say?
Yeah, I think with an officer gets a different view because one, Madam Edwin, they actually talk on the actual thing where they happen, and all this way they affecting us Sierra Leone, lack of probably checking or monitoring how somebody they come into, governance, or how somebody they be appointed into a position. Like I dey say, me where they are, if me na the national secretary general, at the end of the day, me party win. They say, okay, you be the presidential spokesperson or minister of information. Probably I'm not qualified for that. Then if they appoint me into that position, at the end of the day, I will just work in my own interest, not in the interest of the country. And like I say, all those really around me, I will make sure say I fix them into side way they not even qualify. I think that's alone the above the effective and smooth running of the states, because you coming into governance don't mean say that you can just put people that we don't support you financially, like Madam Edwin mentioned the likes of Elon Musk. At the end of the day, we Donald Trump, we will not see probably any appointment say he's the Minister of Trade and Industry, blah 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 blah. But he only give his support because he knows say elect this person. At the end of the day, probably reason best known to us say in business they run smoothly, at the end of the day, if you give support to social person. So one of the things in politics and one of the reasons we don't actually, polarize, development and we in this country. So it affects you so much. And
So
some of them say we really need to address them devoid of political affiliation.
So currently in your role, in una role as opposition members, them right now, I mean you're part of the opposition. What una currently they do for address this? And I don't mean what you think say una for do. Show me points as them of what una they do right now. Una they na opposition for address some of the challenges them here.
One, in we own function as political parties.
What una don't do? What una they do?
One, we don't ensure say we of course they put government into the toes based on certain appointments that they make. Say there are certain appointments and they they put them on party lines, because at the end of the day, you party they get bad name and the country they get bad name as well. So if any government in, government out, they do any appointments, like I say, we get institutions really responsible for probably scrutiny or vetting of them particular appointees, then they into for let them occupy their spaces, then they, and we then na the opposition side we always look at some of the key mistakes that we the current governments they do, and then we dey try for fix, so that at any time we we'll come into governance we not go back to the same pot, and same method as to how appointments they do. So we dey actually look at certain steps there. Say when we assume leadership, and then see how we they come introduce we new to probably the traditional way of appointing individual into public offices or into public institutions.
Then quite interesting actually. I will look forward for see a government like that. So how is it? How that process they go inside on a party? Is it like when I get people them like party secretaries them where they jot them every mistake like how you point out just now, or is it that when I just they put them inside on a national agenda?
Well, like I said, every political party gets a sense of responsibility. And we they watch just like you watch film or television, they look at certain things and they jot them. So as soon as they get to meetings, or probably when they prepare una manifesto, they include and they say what we can to governance, that some of them say how they come and change. And it's like, for example, we will study history, always around the lecture we think that we beyond the past, and history, although yes they deal with the past, so at the end of the day look at the future as well. Even something will not happen, it's history can tell you say this thing can happen, so and so thing. So for the changing kind of traditional way of appointing people, but like I say, the country or the government lack a monitoring power, because when else you don't appoint somebody, that's
Alright,
that
so
ends it.
let's take this caller. Caller, your name and which side you call from?
I'm named Kelly Kamara, they call from Juba.
Okay, Mr. Kelly Kamara.
Yes, sir. I don't follow up the program, the listening. Really, the program is so interesting.
Okay.
But one thing where I want to try for us, this civil society, then they were then a party people that, but then they hide the civil society.
How them people are who go able to trust them, who them go able to talk for, we will be see government they give them back, ministerial post there. How we go able to trust them people are we able to talk for, we the lay people there. See, at this number I want to try for ask.
Okay, thank you very much. This one I go to am to Madam Valnora. It's a people in the inside civil society where they get ministerial position. I think he is referring to the person where they had purposeful and then it gets a certain ministry where they head back inside government. So there's that conflict of interest. But generally from waiting demand or ask what you go say from a civil society perspective.
Well, I think there are two angles there. One of the things they will for realize, I think on a personal level, all man gets in dream any aspiration. And over time, people move from one stage to the next. So if somebody there in one sector, he decides, say, for me, I left this sector and move to another sector, I not think it's a crime because na your personal aspiration. One of the things where on the civil society front we can get an issue with. Now when you deal within the civil society space, then you become more partisan and political past the politician themselves. It doesn't work. It's either you're in civil society or you move and go into a public office. And I don't think there is a crime if somebody decides, say, at this point in time, I want to come off from this space and move into this space. Once it disconnects totally, now your personal issue they pursue. And some of the people that we know, when in the civil society, we don't move on, I not go say them in day because they may want take them position in the. I would not say that, because a good number of them, even in this government, even in last government that were colleagues, some of them actually stepped out and take their position and disconnect from CSO. But when you there in CSO, then you begin play politics. You begin behave like you know a politician. You they defend party interests. Then you are not a civil society person. That's where there is a concern. And unfortunately, the civil society space is so wide, and we are not so organized like you have in other countries. In other countries, they are really organized. They go get an annual session and get guideline. Then they oversight people. Then unfortunately, we not get that.
All right, so I'll take this last caller. Hello, caller. You name and who side you call from?
This is not Jonathan. I call from Lumby.
Okay, Mr. Jonathan.
Yeah, I follow the program with regards to the same question we last caller asked you. Very relevant question. You're right. We really get civil society when party people them or then they hide at the civil society space. Yes, so but like how trust really the whether man they act, how trust really people go for trust them now for all government accountable. We are then same people that we see over time, government they give them ministerial position them and all, and see them as civil society. We really understand.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Caller. And Fambul, with that, we close the call line for today for the show. I think this last one in question where they ask, it's not about reposting the left and then it transitions here. I want to go into governance. It's that you get people within inside civil society where we're not party people, but then still they hold the civil society space as if like they are independent. And then they try for ask but.
So that's the point I mentioned. I said that's where there's a problem. If you deal within the civil society space, then you partisan. Then, because now you government, and we had that in the last government, we get CSO colleagues, the way the government go they do things the way not right, then they defend, then go they argue you, where they look at them objectively. Similarly, you get this era now, you also get some organization or some people there, where then go they defend things the way wrong, because you just assume the way then they do them, and we all in a small society with it, that they have that affiliation. So that is a wrong thing. One thing we've always said over time, for let somebody say are they in a political party in itself not a crime. Now when you there in a party, then you're not able for identify say within this party they do it wrong. Like I say, every political party comes for meet the aspiration of the people. You come with a manifesto, and most of them they develop their manifesto. For the ones the way they do that, then they hold consultation. And then they even bring some independent people then come for look and help them develop their documents and they. So at the end of it all, you dey translate that thing to a national development plan. And over the years, I know one day, Yeri, anybody sit down one day and say, this national plan, I no like am at all. Wetin dem say dem wan do for education, wetin dem wan dey say dem dey do for the economy, not a good thing at all. Nobody no one day say that. So when you dey, whether you are a minister, you na MP, you na this na that, you for focus on. When you not do am, when civil society raise them, when other civil society can they defend them, then you know say them one day are so, then self really not get interest for move this country forward. And that's where there's a problem. And like I mean they say, unfortunately in Australia, we not really get strong self-regulation where you they actually pull people and come up from the space like you define in other countries. The space is open, all man they do what they do. In fact, some of we go sit down, they talk objectively, you go get other one day we go argue they wait. But we have been in this for a long time. We don't build objectivity, and you might not like what some of us would say, but when you sit down in a quiet moment, you don't know say, this what he say, no lie. And we know what we are talking about.
Thank you very much on that point. So as we are about to wrap up the program, quickly in our own, because we know to one way they can no more discuss problems. In our own quick way, 1 minute at least. Sorry, how waiting a recommendations the more they make now to government on how we for make the appointment processes them inclusive, fair, and how we they enforce accountability inside governance. Quick one from both of our perspective then. Yes, let me start with you, sir.
Okay, so like they say, we still get the government still get sense of responsibility for make sure say whenever they appoint individuals into public offices, just like normally the process where they go through, like if you appoint ministers, they go through parliament. I want for whenever the president or whosoever they appoint make appointments, therefore look at qualification as one of the requirements. And if you then get them, then processes here done. Trust me, you will not say whenever you fix somebody now, Minister of Labor, it meets to the requirements. So and at the end of the day, we for the monitor them, because you don't just make an appointment or make appointments, you just left like that, or you sack a minister without telling the public as to why you sack him, or the process we go through.
So it's not a recommendation is firstly when the party or a president they select and the people they around and they select the people them, they need to be qualified, they need for go through proper vetting. We got for ensure say you make them as inclusive as possible. We have said several times that you not go find all the qualified people within your political party, and enough for be a reward based system, but find technocrats, find people there with the experience, with the credibility, with the professional integrity for hold them position, and they not that you know go compensate few people, but let the people away not way they compensate not outweigh the one that way really qualify. And the most important thing, they have to be qualified. But most importantly again, when you don't appoint people and they have been vetted, one, they have to have security of